Hey, we're doing for loops. So last time you saw the while loop, which let me make this nice and simple. Okay, so what you saw in the last video was I had some integer, some counter, right, x, and it said while x is less than 10, run some code and add 1 to x. I'm going to find and replace x and replace it with counter. Okay. So this is kind of like a secondary variable, right? This is what we use to run a while loop a set number of times. And in fact, people would do this so often that they made a whole new loop for it because it was a pain to set up. So, um, actually, I'm going to change this back to x. I don't like counter. Counter. Also, you can do this by hitting Control F and then using a little drop down counter to x, and I can replace all. Okay. So we have our while loop. This is our initial variable. This is our condition, and then this is our increment. So people made this thing called a for loop. Okay? For int I equals 0. I is less than 10. I plus plus. System out print line I. Okay. Let's look at these chunks of code. Okay. We have our variable creation. We have our condition, and we have our increment. For loops are while loops. You just do everything in one line, and you don't have to keep track of all sorts of different stuff. All I is a variable. You could name it literally anything you want. You could name it hello. You could name it x. We use I for iterator. There is nothing special about I. Nothing. Okay? This is the condition. This is when the for loop runs. This is if it's going to run again. This is the exact same kind of condition that's in this while loop. All it does is turn true or false. Okay? And this is the incrementer. This is what runs after the loop is done. So once all of the code is run and you hit this bottom, you increment I by some amount and you bounce back up and check. And then you run it again. So I'm going to delete this. Prints out the exact same thing as in the last lesson. Okay. So let's take a look at different stuff that we can do with this. So we created our variable in I. Oh, before I keep going, why would you want to use a for loop? You know how many times you need to run something. Not until some condition is met. You know exactly how long you need to run that. I need to run this 10 times. I need to run this for the length of the string, right? So you can put all sorts of stuff in here. You could initialize I to be 100, and while I is greater than 50, I minus I equals I minus 5. Okay, let's take a look at what this will do. This will start I at 100, and while I is greater than 50, it's going to run the code. And once it's done running the code, each time it's going to subtract 5 from I. Pretty nice. It runs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times. Pretty nice, pretty nice, pretty nice. Other things that you can do are any integers that you can pop into here, or any sort of comparison even. So I'm gonna start off with I at 0. Let's do something like string s equals hello, hello, while I is less than s dot length, right? We're going to system out print line s dot char at I. So let's think about what's going on here. I is going to go through all numbers that are less than the length of this string. This string is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 letters long. So I's range is 0 to 4. Okay? I can be 0, I can be 1, I can be 2, I can be 3, I can be 4. If I is 5, 5 is not less than 5. 4 is less than 5. That's the last one. And each time we're going to increment it. So our range of values is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we're going to print out our string at the index I. Char at I. Get me the character at whatever the current index is from our string called x. So I will be 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. So it's going to grab the 0th index, the 1st index, the 2nd index, the 3rd index, and the 4th index. So let's see. Hello, and it prints them all out. Very nice. What if I did s.length divided by 2? He. Remember, integer division. What if I want hello, full world, and all who inhabit it? What if I did this? Hello, beautiful world, and. That's about halfway, right? That's halfway. Beautiful world. What if I did something like this? I took this back, so it's going to print out every single character. And instead of doing I++, I did I plus equals 3. This is going to print out every 3rd letter. Holbulf, dual, hey. Nice. I'm going to get rid of this new line right here so we can see it all nice and. Oh, that's great. That's just so nice. That's so excellent. Hopefully this makes sense. For loops, well, this is a C-style for loop for those of you that care. There are all sorts of other kinds of for loops, but I love C-style for loops. I hated them at the beginning, but I grew to love them, and now I use them all over the place, and they're an incredible tool for repeating code. Hopefully you got everything out of this that you needed, and good luck doing your string algorithms with these.